Hello, my name is Melissa Dunn Sullivan, and I am very happy to be with you today on Mama Genius. And I will be talking about empowering through the arts. But first of all, I would like to thank to Michelle, thank you, and to all of those that helped her put on this festival, and to you, the participants and the other speakers who have made this such a success. Again, my name is Melissa, and what I want to talk about is the empowerment through the arts and what this means to you. How can you benefit from it? So, what's your exercise flavor? So, when I say that, your exercise flavor, everybody's got a flavor. Through your past experiences, what what are your specific health needs? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Just like a fingerprint, no one is exactly the same. So you have your own unique needs when it comes to exercise and mental health. So, of course, the arts, as you know, has to deal with visual and performing arts, but I'm going to focus today on the avenue of dance because although the arts are, all encompassing and you have a lot of arts, I just am going to focus on the dance today. But for the sake of time, actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on dance exercise and dance therapy. So, first of all, what I want you to do is I want you to imagine a room. So, you're in this room and it's completely white. It has a white ceiling, it has white walls and white floor, and you can close your eyes to visualize this, or you can keep them open, whatever is easier for you. But I just want you to think about this white room that you're in, and it doesn't have anything else in it except for two chairs. Okay, the two chairs are relatively far apart, so the chairs can be whatever color you want them to be, and just imagine those two chairs. Now, we're going to imagine your favorite season. So, obviously, there's four. So, think of your favorite season, and I want you to paint your walls with that season. It can, for example, if it's autumn, I want to see autumn leaves in your head, in your mind that you're imagining. The smells. How does it smell in autumn? Pumpkin, smells or whatever. But I'm going to give you just a minute to think about this, and I want you to paint and create your room in an atmosphere of your favorite season. So go ahead and do that. I'm doing mine. Okay, once you've done that, I want you to add a little flavor to it. I want you to add people or no people. So, however you want to do it. If you want a big group of people, if you like big groups of people, if you interact great with a lot of people, you're a people person. Jam those people in there. Okay. If you are more of a one-on-one or one-on-two person, then add a few people, some of your close friends. And if you just don't like people, which is fine, don't have anybody in there. You can just be you, and you can be that's absolutely okay to recharge and to get your grounding by yourself. So after you have the people in the room, I did forget to mention you also need, like, if it's winter, if that's your favorite season, you probably want to imagine a roaring fire and come in out of the cold. So you may want your room to change a little bit, like into a heated room, because well, you'd freeze. So after doing that and adding your people, we're going to add the last aspect to this, and we're going to go from one chair to the other. Now, how are we going to do this? Well, we're not going to walk. We're going to use whatever unique ability or talents that are within us to get from one chair to the next. For example, if you like to hop or jump or, go up and down, go to the chair that way. Imagine yourself getting to the chair in any way you can, other than walking. Okay, you don't have to hop like a bunny or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But get to the chair in the form of a dance that you're doing in your head with these movements. For myself personally, I would use slower, more adagio movements. So I would use the rounder, more obtuse dance movements to use the lines of the body to get there. Okay, but the point is you're getting from point A to point B doing something that you've probably never thought about doing. I hadn't until I did this. So, anyway, after you do this and you go from one chair to the next, we're going to lay this down. We're going to put this to the side and we're going to come back to it. But remember how you got from one chair to the next, okay? And all of the people around you. In fact, let's envision that really quickly. So I'm going to be quiet and imagine yourself going from one chair to the next. Okay, great. So leave that aside or put it aside. Now, I want you to think, well, I want you to tell you a little bit about my story. Now, I'm not going to go really into detail about it too much, other than the fact that I took a ton of arts-related classes growing up, whether it be painting or dance, theater, tons of things. And that's kind of what shaped me as a young person. So I knew that I loved the arts, and I knew that I wanted to pursue a career in that at a very young age. So that's why I'm here, and it's to help others find their passion through the arts. And if you want to hear more about it, then you can always get this on Amazon. I have a compilation of my story. It's Don't Wait in the Wings, and you can read that there. So I'll leave that there, and now I'm going to go back to helping you. I'm going to throw out a statistic, not too many, but I'm going to throw out some statistics here. The American Psychological Association in 2019 reported that more than 3/4 of adults report symptoms of stress, including headache, tiredness, or sleeping problems. This is especially true of older adults. The National Institute of Health did a study in 2023, stating that meta-analysis showed a statistically significant reduction in depression among older adults participating in dance interventions. Now, the reason I say all that is it's not just for children. I do want to focus on the children, but this is more about you. This is how to make you well, how to make you physically and mentally well. So that's why we're focusing on this. Because there's stress factors. Raise your hand if you're stressed. We're all stressed, especially since COVID. That put a lot of stress on us. So everybody's got their own stressors. And what we're doing here is to pinpoint those and let them out effectively. So that brings me to dance therapy. We need to marry mental and physical health. And I'm going to talk about the dance movement therapy curriculum and how that helps to marry mental health. There was a lady called Marion Chase, who was known as the Grand Dame of DMT. In 1942, she was invited to work in the St. Elizabeth's Hospital, a federal psychiatric hospital in Washington, where the wards were getting filled with psychological casualties from World War II. Back then, they didn't have the medicine like they do today to treat those illnesses or those conditions of depression and anxiety and PTSD. So what they did was they introduced therapy in the form of dance. So this is a holistic, not a new thing, and I'm not saying to replace it with medicine, because you definitely want to do what your doctor suggests. But in addition to it or in place of it, you choose how you want to use it. And what they did was, this was the period before the advent, like I said, of the drugs, and therefore this program, Dance for Communication, was introduced at the St. Elizabeth's Hospital, and it became the start of a new mental health therapy. So like I said, wanted to touch on that very briefly, but it was launched actually in 2014. And DMT can help mentally to overcome psychological conditions such as PTSD, as I said, anxiety, and depression. Now, here's a fun fact. I did not know this. Well, I'm not going to say that I did not know this. I did know a little bit of this, but I didn't know the complete vast knowledge of wealth that's out there. Here it is. With depression, you have a decreased level of vertical movement. And I was thinking, what is that? So for example, if you see people that jump up and down a lot, like if you're in church and you're jumping, that's a way to feel joyful, right? So we're actually going back, millennials, going back centuries of people that used to do that, long time ago. So it's really our own body dealing with ways to over or combat feelings that we have or emotions. So that's one thing that I found interesting. So with dance in particular, when you have do sautés or changements or these different exercises, it can release the endorphins more so that you're not as depressed. And that to me is just, is so interesting. And then another one is tapping hard. If you tap really hard, that releases anger. So I'm not saying that all dancers are like really angry, but I can say that I do love to tap. So that may be telling me something. But anywho, it's so neat to know these type of things. So what area you fit into in this dance in movement period. So anyway, having said that, we're gonna revisit our rooms now. So let me see how I'm doing on time. Um, ooh, we have a good bit of time, so I need to slow down a little bit. Okay, so let's go back to our rooms, and what we're doing here is we're going from one chair to the other, right? I want you to think about how you went from one chair to the other again. Was it again hopping? Was it tapping? Was it um, running? Think about all of the different ways that you got from point A to point B. That's going to be part of your story. Those are those emotions that may be hidden within that you haven't even thought about. Certainly for me, that was the case. So think about those, and I'll give you an example of mine. Okay, so I like winter, so I'm gonna go into actually a warm room, and it has a fire and people. Yeah, I am gonna have just a few people in there. I can have a lot of people, but sometimes I can get overwhelmed. So I'm gonna have just a few people in my room. And like I said, being completely alone is natural and normal as well. But for the sake of this, I'm going to have a few people in my room. Okay, so I'm sitting there, and we're talking to other people, or I'm talking to these other people, and I have to move to the next chair. So as I move, I did mention this earlier, I have more of an adagio type, um, a slower way to get to the other chair through rond de jambes and um, through slower movements and lines with my body. And I eventually get to the other side. Okay, let's lay that right there. Now let's give another example. Let's say you loved summer. Summer was your deal. You love summer. So you're at a beach party. You got a million people around you, and you're like, yeah, come on, let's do this. So you have a beach party going on, and so you're very engaged. And at that point, you have to move from one chair to the next, one lawn chair to the next. So you're like, how am I going to get there? Well, I can see that being more allegro, more a lot of fast jumping movements. It could even mean running from one chair to the next. But yeah, I see that as fast, energetic, ready to go. That tells you something about your exercise pattern and about what would be good for you. So, lots of people systematically and repetitively, that would be more of that person's exercise pattern or exercise goal. So anyway, I wish that we could have someone to offer their specific room, because it would be neat to hear. But my whole goal here is to offer you a personalized exercise routine specifically tailored to your mental and physical health. So, helping you to find or rediscover your unique talents and combine those with your unique story by creating an experience that will not only help you to um, become physically fit, but heal from your past as well. Um, the objective, excuse me, can be achieved in addition to other art forms. So it doesn't have to be just dance. It could be other art forms, visual, or performing, as well, shaping a wellness program dedicated to your health needs. So for a limited time here, I'm going to offer a place where you can go to sign up on my website, and it's a $50 value, but just for the next for this festival, through the use or the time of this festival, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know. I'm not sure when I'm going to shut it down, but you can sign up to have wellness um, your own wellness consultation on my website, and we can tailor a plan out just for you with what type of exercise you would benefit from. And I offer all kinds of different techniques in my Classically Fit website. So I'm going to put that in the link down here. My website, it's just classically-fit.com/events. And you can go straight to there, and you can add to your calendar what date you would like a consultation. So we can discover together what your goals are for the future, and how this can work for you, this empowerment through the arts, because it's like I said, it's not only a health journey. It is a health journey, but it's not only physical, it is mental as well. And we cannot forget the mental side of things, especially in today's world. So, again, I really appreciate everyone getting on here today, and I hope that you benefited from what I said today. And I look forward to seeing some of you in the future. Thanks again, Michelle, and thank you, Mama Genius Festival.